EIBFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genuis Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
Hello and welcome to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, your host for the next 30 minutes. Glad you joined me. And I am live. It's the 27th of March at 6 p.m. I ran a replay last week of the previous week, which was Louis Navalier. I thought he was worth repeating. He's going to be on, hopefully, on a regular basis, maybe once a quarter. I've got maybe three big-time guys that have agreed to come on the program periodically, so hopefully we'll have some really good guests on this year. I will say, Louis Navalier's office, and if you watch it on YouTube, I'll hold it up and show you. I have 4 copies of Louis's new book called The Sacred Truths of Investing. And it's a very good book. And I will give away 4 copies of that book somehow. The first one I'll give away will be for the first caller tonight. So if you call, you not only go into the drawing for the Denver Tuna Tavola, but you'll also get a book. And that's on me. So let's go to a break. Maybe you'll call during that first break, and we'll take your question when we come back, anything financially related. The number here, by the way, I probably need to say that. The number is 561-TALK, 561-8255, 561-8255. And take your call first when we come back, and I will be back with you in a couple minutes.
Ayden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates. Low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Ayden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Ayden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
And welcome back to Financially Speaking, and we do have a caller on the line, which is a wonderful thing. Marty, you're on the line. Go right ahead with your question.
Thanks, Jim, for taking my call. I'm
Sure.
in my late 50s and have not done a very good job of preparing for retirement for various reasons. But if I were to, let's say hypothetically, had $100,000, what would be the safest investment to make in order to prepare for down the road 7 or 8 years for retirement?
Well, you say safest. You want guarantee of principal, or you want something that just isn't quite as volatile as rocky real estate?
Yeah, nothing rocky, but I know I don't want to put it in the bank and, just draw what little interest they're given these days. So there is going to be some risk involved, but I'm sure,
Right.
but limited. Is what I would be asking.
All right. And before I answer the question, let me tell you, you've got a book coming by Louis Navalier, and
Okay.
we'll hold that for you. And also, if you gave the producer your number, you're in the drawing for the Denver 2 in Ottavolo.
Thank you.
I don't think there's ever a time, Marty, that individuals need to be completely out of the stock market, because over time you need an inflation hedge. You need to earn more return than the inflation rate in order to increase your purchasing power for later on. In other words, the average inflation for the last 50 years has been 2.58. If you earn 2.58, you're gaining nothing, essentially. And if you gain less of that, then you're losing money, losing purchasing power. So we need to earn more than that. The only way to do that consistently over time is in the equity market. So we just need to have it in something that's earning market-like returns. But when you say something safe, I think what you're referring to really is your future income from that money. The greatest fear of retirees is outliving their income. And you can do that these days. I use variable annuities in my practice some. I'm not a one thing fits all, one shoe fits all, but I do use it in some cases. And a variable annuity lets you sleep at night. It guarantees that you'll have a future income, and it guarantees that income will last for your lifetime. But on the flip side, your account value is actually invested in sub-accounts, and hopefully some stock sub-accounts, so that maybe you can get market-type returns over time. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. It is more expensive than an advisory account, which is a pure brokerage account that with a fee wrapped around it. Usually those advisory fees are about 1% a year. So your question is the same question that many people have, probably some that are listening here tonight, and it needs to be addressed. It's hard to address it on this program and with this format. I'd love to sit down with you and talk and see exactly what we're looking at there, how much time we have, what your expectations are for your money and for retirement, what age and how much money you're going to be needing in retirement. We include Social Security and any pensions that might be there. And we have to look at some things and make sure we're doing the right thing for you. And I hope I kind of sort of answered your question.
Well, you did, and the main thing is that I just need to sit down with you when the time comes that I have that in hand.
That's right.
So,
and Marty, let me do this.
Yeah,
let me do this, Marty, while you're on the phone, and I do this a couple times during the show anyway, so people will have my contact information. So it's for you and also everybody else that might be listening or watching on the YouTube channel. My phone number at the office is 756-4700. And of course, we're area 252 here. 756-4700. My email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And last name is Taunton. So jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And also the website is jtauntonfinancial.com. And you go on there and find out everything you want to know about Jim and more. And also you can contact me through the website if need be. So three ways there that you can make contact. But if you email me, for example, I will respond by email and answer any questions, and then also try to see if we can to meet to make sure we can communicate properly and you're feeling warm and fuzzy about Jim.
That sounds good, Jim. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Marty, for calling. Very much so.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Good question. It's a question that almost everybody has, really. Although most people are really more questioning, are they ready for retirement, what they need to do to get for retirement. He was a little more specific. But, if you need some help, I'd love to apply for the job as your financial advisor for sure. And the number here is 561-TALK, 561-8255. And you call in, and that's one book gone to Marty. I've got 3 more to give away. I think I'll just go ahead and give one to the next caller. Next person that calls in will get a copy of The Sacred Truths of Investing by Louis Navellier. Excellent book. And you'll also, of course, be in the drawing for the Denver-to Latavola. Now, until we have our next caller, I have put together some material. And I've got 4 different ideas here to share with you. And they're all from real-life client cases. So this is real stuff, okay? This is what goes on in Jim's life on a daily basis. But again, as soon as you call, we're going to stop and take your call. I appreciate you interrupting the monologue, definitely. I had a lady that came in today. I hadn't seen her in a little while, but her husband was a client, and he actually rolled some money from a qualified retirement plan, and we put a large chunk of it, not all of it, but a large chunk of it into a variable annuity. The aforementioned variable annuity. And we put the living benefit rider on it, which guaranteed his income for life. Although his money was invested, the account value would fluctuate based on market conditions, but his income was guaranteed never to go down or go away based on that rider. Well, he died, and probably, I don't know, about 10 years into the process. And it just so happens that Jim put a spousal continuation rider on that contract. And it was a really good thing because he was married. And before I continue with that story, we have another caller, and his name is Jared. And I have a middle son named Jared. Jared, go right ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure how germane this is to the discussion, but I had a question about the recent bill that passed Congress and I believe the House about overtime not being taxable. Am I correct in that?
I'm not aware of it. It could be. I'm just not aware of it.
Okay.
If that would be nice for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
They're trying to get tips not taxable.
Right. Yeah, that was a part of it as well. My question was if you knew the timetable and when that went into effect, but I suppose not.
Yeah,
and that's okay. I was just curious about it because I haven't been able to find a firm answer on that. I do make an hourly wage and a fairly decent one, and I was just wondering if you knew when that went into effect.
I know the TIPS deal has not been passed yet. It's on his agenda. And he also wants to make it so that Social Security is not taxable, regardless of how much money you make, in addition to that.
Which I think is wonderful, since you've already paid taxes on that one time anyway.
Yes. So there are a lot of changes coming, but I don't know that that's been implemented yet. But I'll when I get off air, I'll Google it and see. Google is your friend.
All right. All right. I do appreciate
it. You've got a book here, and you gave, obviously, he showed me on the text, you've already given your phone number. So you're in the drawing for the Denver-to Latavola, and I'll also make contact, see how I can get this book to you.
All right. Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jared. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. Now, that story I was telling. So the husband died, but the rider, you can put on a rider where it's a single life income, so the income's guaranteed for the life of the person that opened the account, was the owner of the account. And then when they die, you just have to move the account value, whatever's there based on investment performance, into an account of the spouse and restart an income. Or you can add a rider that guarantees the continuation of the very same income to the surviving spouse that the spouse was receiving that opened the account. And that's just happens to be what we did there. And so this lady is continuing to receive the income she'd become accustomed to. It's guaranteed to her for the rest of her life. She's alone now, so that comfort level is important to her. And she still has a significant account value. The account value is higher than where we started, even after withdrawals and expenses of the contract. But that's a neat deal when you can sit down with someone and review and rehash and you just see them say, oh, man, that's a wonderful thing. I'm so glad we did that. So that's why we use variable annuities in some cases for retirement. It's just that simple. Some people don't want them and we don't use them. And it might not be applicable in some cases. Depends on how much money you have, how much income you need, really. But in that case, it worked wonderfully well. All right, the number again here is 561-TALK, 561-8255, and we're about halfway. So let's go to another 2-minute break. Call the program during the break, and guess what? I've got 2 more books to give away. Next person that calls in, I'm going to give them a book, and they'll also go into the drawing for the Dinner for Two at Tavola. I even paid a tip, and we'll see you in 2 minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates. Low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. Don't believe we had a caller during the break. Let's take a quick gander. Nope, sure didn't. So call the number 561-8255. Call with your financially related question. I'll put your name in one of these books. Brand new book out by Louis Navellier. It's a bestseller, The Sacred Truths of Investing. And your name will also go into the drawing for the Dinner for Two at Tavola. And until then, I'll start or continue with this information. All right, the second idea I want to share with you, we've talked about qualified contribution distributions. There you go. And you have to be RMD eligible, which means you have to be at least 73 right now. It's going to go to 74 eventually, but 73 right now. So if you have IRAs and the government is requiring you to take out money on an annual basis, and you are charitably inclined, either you're a tither to your church, you donate to your church on a regular basis, or there is another charity, 501(c). There you go. A nonprofit. You contribute to a nonprofit, you'd like to be able to do that again on a pre-tax basis, and you cannot because the standard deduction is so high, you're not able to itemize anymore. If you're not able to itemize, then you can't deduct your charitable contributions. Well, there is a way to do that, and the way to do that is QCDs. We make a withdrawal from an IRA. We have the check made out to the institution, the church, or the charity, and you put the check in the pot or mail it to the charity. You don't pay tax on that money. Normally, your distributions that you're having to take, you're required to take them, okay? Normally, they're taxable as income. But if you do that, they will not be. So it is a surefire way to continue to make pre-tax contributions to either your church or charity, your choice, depending on what you want to do. So if you want more information on that, feel free to give me a call or email me. My number at the office is 756-4700. The email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com, and I'll be glad to talk with you. The third idea of 4 that I want to share with you was about beneficiary designations. Almost everything now has a beneficiary designation, or should. Life insurance inherently does, IRAs inherently do, but also non-qualified investment accounts, accounts at the bank can also have a transfer of death put on them where you designate a beneficiary. All of these are beneficiary designations. And when you designate beneficiaries, you need to make sure that you understand exactly what it is you want done with the money if your beneficiary is no longer around. Yeah. Let's suppose maybe your spouse has already predeceased you, and maybe you designated, or a better thing, more applicable. You designate your spouse as your primary beneficiary, but your contingent beneficiary may be your son and or your daughter. And what you want to have happen is if your son or daughter is no longer there when you deceased, and say your spouse is also deceased, maybe you go down to the same airplane. It happens these days, by the way. You want that money actually to go to your grandchildren. Well, if you don't designate what's called per stirpes for that beneficiary designation, it will actually go to your spouse's estate, and then will more than likely pass to your not your spouse, but your daughter or son, your child's estate, and then it will pass to your child's spouse. And that may not be what you want to happen with that money. You probably want that money to benefit your grandchildren, not your son-in-law or daughter-in-law. Not that you don't love them, but you want the grandchildren to be benefited directly. So per stirpes is a Latin a phrase, and if you ever look at a chart of your ancestors coming on down, that one begot that one, and that one begot that one, and finally come to you, and there's all these lines. Those lines are called stirpes in Latin. The stripes are called stirpes. So when you say per stirpes, that means that the money would follow the line on that chart. So instead of going to a child's spouse, it would go to the child's direct descendants, which are the child's children. So give that some consideration as well. Make sure it's done properly like you want it to do. The last idea I was going to share, and I've got time for one more caller. If you'll call quickly, I'll give you a book, Sacred Truths of Investing. You go into the drawing for dinner for two at Octavola. The number is 561-TALK, 561-8255. Last thing, when you retire, and actually one of the callers kind of brought this up. The first one said, I got $100,000, I want to invest it, I want it safe. Okay. Well, the question is, when you are nearing retirement age or you're in retirement, do you go completely fixed with your portfolio? And to safeguard your principal? And the answer is no. As I told that person on the phone tonight on this program, there's never a time where you should be completely out of the stock market, because there's no way that you're going to get the return on your portfolio that you need to have an inflation hedge, which is a return above the inflation rate, so that you actually have increasing purchasing power over time. So, no, you do not go completely fixed when you retire. And that brings up another thing. I don't like retirement date subaccounts in 401ks. You probably have one or several, actually. And the name of the fund will have a date. It'll say like a retirement 2035 fund or subaccount. And that simply means that you're projecting your retirement at 2035. So what that fund does is the closer you get to that date, you have less and less in equities and more in fixed income. Well, that may not be what you want to do, but it's automatic pilot. And I don't like that at all. So, if you need some help allocating a 401k, I'll be glad to give some pointers. But, I'd rather be able to allocate my money in the types of accounts that I want to be in, and not let a fund automatically whittle away at my equity positions and increase my fixed income positions. Because again, even in retirement, you don't want to be 100% fixed unless there's an exception. There's always an exception to a rule, right? If you've got $10 million and all you need is $200,000 a year to live on and be perfectly happy as a pig in slop, well, that is well below the rate where we wouldn't have to invade your principal at all, no matter what, basically. And we could certainly put that $10 million in fixed instruments and not only deliver the income you need, but also grow the account value. But there's so few people in that position. Okay, I threw out a hypothetical that was rare, but so there could be a chance that we don't need equity exposure. But I haven't seen too many clients over my 45 years that did not need some equity exposure to get the return they need on their portfolios. Now, if you think you need some help with financial planning and estate planning with your money, retirement planning, investing, you're nearing retirement, you got a big 401k nest egg, don't know what to do with it. 70% of my practice is handling rollovers from 401ks. Give me a call. I'll be glad to sit down with you and hash it out and see if I can be of service to you in some way. I don't know that until we talk. And the number at the office is 756-4700, 756-4700. Email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And my website is jtauntonfinancial.com. And again, you can find out anything you want to know about me there. And also contact me through the inquiry page on the website. So we've got a lot going on in the markets. I didn't talk much about markets right now, but been very volatile. But as the sign behind you says, trade your plan, not your emotions. Don't let temporary circumstances cause you to change a long-term investment strategy. As always, this is Jim Taunton helping you make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.